We're Hassani and Danielle Pettiford, and we're a real couple with real problems who almost called it quits.
I was very frustrated. I became very disconnected, very jaded and cold.
We have 4 children, going on 20 years of marriage, and we practice what we preach.
Our mission, to change the way couples relate to one another and teach them the skills needed to improve the quality of their relationships. This is the Couples Academy Show.
All right, good morning, folks. Welcome to the Couples Academy Show. My name is Hassani, and we're here with you live and direct, tuning in from Atlanta, Georgia. Where are you dialing in from? Where are you logging in from? Where are you around the world? Are you in the United States? Are you on the continent of Africa? Are you in Europe? Maybe you're in the Middle East. I don't know, South America, Central America. We want to know where you are, but we just want to welcome you here this morning. Listen, before we get started, we want to make sure that you take the time to like,
share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you do not miss a show. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just jumping in on this show, so give me a second to get my earbuds in, but make sure that you guys are notifying all your friends and your family about this show, because we want this message to reach the 4 corners of the earth, which it is actually doing, right? I mean, more and more places are reaching out saying that they're tuning in. So make sure that you guys are supporting us with that.
Now, Danielle's been missing in action. She's been missing in action for a variety of reasons, but one of the biggest reasons was she had put so much time, energy, and effort into her big 45-year birthday bash that was heard and reverberated from around the world. That's right, she did her concert. It was her Pieces of Me 45th birthday concert, and it was amazing. So, you know, many people who are friends and family were there, and we wanted to just share a little glimpse.
Oh, wow, really?
Is that all right? Can we do that?
Sure.
Can we share a little glimpse of what she did? I think you'll like it. I think you'll like it. So this is the first time I'm actually sharing something like this. I hope I'm doing this right, but check this out. Let me know what you think. Let's go.
Voices hollering.
But you did it. You killed it.
Cool.
You killed it. It was an amazing event.
You know, the cool thing about it is that, you know, we all have these lists, right? There are these things that we say that we're going to do someday, and you might have imagined yourself actually doing it 1,000 times, but you put it off, and every day becomes another day that you don't do it, and you're always saying tomorrow. The issue with saying I'll do it tomorrow, I'll start tomorrow, is that tomorrow never comes.
That's
and
right.
So the moment I decided to do that, and I actually spoke it that I'm going to do this, it was so interesting how it just took off. All the pieces came together, all the people came together. It was really miraculous how it happened. It was the biggest fulfillment of a dream that I have ever experienced, to actually stand there and do that concert and fulfill what I had envisioned myself doing for so many years was incredible. So that's partly what has kept me away for so many weeks.
That's right, and we're glad that she's back. So what are you holding on to? What's inside of you? What have you been kind of vacillating back and forth? Should I do it? Should I not? What have you allowed fear to rob you of? Whatever that is, listen, you got to go out there and get it and make it happen. So it was a great celebration, but we're glad she's back. Also, this is a big week. As you know, starting this Thursday, we will be in Wisconsin for the Bulletproof Marriage Getaway. For those of you who did not register, it is now available virtually. That's right. For $197, you can be there virtually for the entire weekend on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They're going to have amazing speakers. We are amongst those speakers. I don't know what afforded us that opportunity to be amongst such giants, but we will be there. There'll be workshops and seminars and interactive experiences that you can do virtually. Last year, it was all virtual, but now that, the pandemic, we've gotten kind of adjusted to it. There's going to be COVID restrictions, but if you haven't signed up, it is not too late. We will be putting the link in the description for you to jump in right away. Also, November the 12th through the 12th through the 14th. As you know, we've been talking about the Last Chance Weekend. Unfortunately, it is now sold out. It is filled to capacity, which is an actual good thing.
It is.
It means that people are serious about what they want for their marriage. So what we did was we put a new date up, and so that new date is going to be December the 10th through the 12th. So you can go to the same link in the description. Make sure you do that so that we can find out if you're ready and if you're serious to transform your relationship, guys. It's not too late. We're opening it up. We want as many people to join us as possible. But what we're going to do, we're talking about 10 ways to recover from betrayal. There's a lot to talk about today, but before we do, we're going to take a quick commercial break and we will be right back. That's right, folks. That's the Last Chance Weekend, December the 10th through the 12th. Divorce is on. Usually it goes bananas. It skyrockets in December, and we're doing everything that we can to fight against that. And so we want you to go ahead and register for that right away. Get a spot while it is available, because we do keep it limited.
Absolutely. Why do you think that is, that divorce skyrockets in December?
Well, particularly December, because people are thinking about, what do I want for my life in a new year? Do I want to bring this hurt, this pain, this baggage, this stress, this drama into a new year? Do I want to just press the reset button and start from scratch? But even though it's just like people are confused, because one voice in them says, let it go, I can't do this anymore. Another voice inside of them says, well, maybe there's a chance that things can turn around.
There's
but I'm
always
only
that little
willing to
glimpse
give
of hope.
a little glimpse of hope. And I'm willing to give it one last chance, one last try. And that's why we coined this and phrased it the last chance weekend.
Yeah, lots of people say, you know, like, I want to feel like I gave it my best.
Yeah.
I don't want to walk away from this relationship knowing that I could have tried harder. So that's what this is all about. But I want to acknowledge a few people who have tuned in today. Dee Jones, Jessica Villavicencio. How did I do with that? Vashon Edmondson. Carmel. I'm gonna just do first names. Ralph is with us. Hey, Rachel Renee, I'll get your middle name, girl. Crystal Montgomery, Tanique, D. Slapping Traps. Y'all don't even help us. These names. Fedlina, good to see you. Sean, Jessica, Taisha, Torre, Frank. So many more, guys. Thank you for joining us every day. We really appreciate your support.
Somebody wants to know, are you going to perform and entertain at the Last Chance Weekend?
Y'all better stop egging me on. Y'all need to stop it right now. Don't make a mess over here.
Well, let's get into today's topic, guys. Listen, we're talking about betrayal, right?
Yes.
And how do you heal from a betrayal? Oftentimes the focus has been on the unfaithful spouse and what he or she needs to do to restore the relationship. And he or she, you do have your role to play. But there's a role and responsibility that the betrayed spouse has too, separate from what the unfaithful partner has to do. And I think that we need to really take our time and unpack that a little bit, because a lot of people want to heal, but they just don't know how. And sometimes they wind up self-sabotaging their own journey because they get in their own way, because they're holding on to things that they should be releasing. They're pursuing things that they shouldn't. They're listening to the wrong voices. There's so much mess out there on the internet, whether it's you're reading blogs or watching videos on YouTube, you're listening to the wrong people to get what it is that you want.
Yeah.
And then we wonder why things are as bad as they are.
I mean, I think also people have, a lot of times people are stuck in the I don't knows. That's something that I hear all the time. You know, what is it that you want? I don't know. How do you feel? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. They're just disconnected, which is common. Whenever you experience any trauma, that's when we disconnect from reality and we go into our coping mechanisms. And so oftentimes we need to get grounded so that we can actually feel something.
Yeah.
And there's a process to that. You know, people go into restricted mode where they are completely numb. They're not angry, they're not sad, they're not happy, they're not mad, they're just numb. And, you know, getting to the point where you can acknowledge exactly how you feel, it grounds you. Now your feet are on the ground and you have a feeling about something, and feeling is always the precursor to what motivates you to make change.
I do want to acknowledge what Michelle said. She said, I wonder if some divorces are because of a combination of seasonal depression, holiday disappointment, and they associate that with their relationships. Take a deep breath. Turn off the Hallmark movies and reconnect with your spouse. That's a good point. I think that can be a stimulus, right? But typically, if a person wants to divorce, they've been thinking about that for a while. And so, what is that term? I forget the term. But the point is, they've been thinking about it for a while. And then to your point comes the holiday, and it's just like, man, feelings of isolation and loneliness and betrayal, and I just can't do this anymore.
Or the other triggers that come along with the holidays. You know, family can be a trigger, you know, in-laws can be a trigger, money can be a trigger. There's so many factors that come along with the holidays and the end of the year and wanting to do a new start. Everybody's got a new start, you know, all these new things that we're doing in the new year, and we just don't want to necessarily bring old baggage and old hurts into the new year.
Yeah, that's right. So let's talk about this healing process, because if you are the one who is the betrayed spouse, you're probably asking yourself, well, how do I overcome it? What do we need to do? And that's our series this week, and we're going to take our time with it so that we can go deep and give you what you want. Now, here's the deal, guys. What we say, none of it's easy, okay? None of it is easy. And guess what? No matter what we say, if you choose to, you can come up with a reason, a rationalization, a justification for why it won't work and why you shouldn't do it and why it's not fair. And all those things are true. Like, you did not cause this, yet you're responsible for your healing, and it's not fair. And I think that the moment we realize, okay, it's not fair, but now what? Right? We can't reverse the clock. We can't just wish it would all go away. We can't wait for someone to rescue us. If we take on that type of mentality, we will stay trapped in our pain. So in essence, you have to do something to begin to shift things in your life. So let's talk about it. Number one, become consciously aware of how you feel. I think that's important. You're going to say something?
I mean, I to that point, JG says, forgiveness doesn't come easy when I have an incurable STD. We just bought a home. Our kids seem so happy. I do feel numb. That's right. And to me, that goes right along with the point that you're making a conscious decision to actually feel something. It makes sense. Like, that is a valid perspective, that when you're going through something, sometimes you operate in a state of numbness just so that you can continue, right? To actually sit down and think about and feel what's really going on with you, and really think about what happened, and all those things can be so emotionally triggering that it could shut you down, but yet you still have bills to pay, you still got to go to work, you still got to take care of these kids, you still got to take care of you. So I understand that, but at some point, in order to move into the forgiveness, it's so important to actually get to a place of feeling something. You have to move out of the numbness and into that place where you actually have a feeling, so that you're motivated to make change. And that change can be either negative or positive. We want to steer you in a positive direction, but you have to begin to feel first.
Absolutely. And it makes us realize that when you're in this journey, when you've been hurt, you're literally at a crossroads, and you can literally decide to continue to hurt or to heal. It is a pathway that you have to take. And so the question is, which path are you going to embark upon?
And you need some hand-holding sometimes, because you're operating in your own dysfunction. What makes sense to you? We all have our own coping mechanisms, how we do it. Some of us shut down, some of us exaggerate behavior. We just do what we do so that we can feel at peace with ourselves. Sometimes you need somebody to guide you through the process to feel. Sometimes you need somebody to talk you off the ledge, to actually lead you to a place where you actually understand what's happening with you.
So there's something called the quadrinity identity. We've talked about this before, how there's these four aspects of ourselves. There's our spiritual self, there's our emotional self, our intellectual self, and then our physical body, right? Our physical self. And each one of these aspects deliver very different messaging. And so when it comes to the point number one, becoming consciously aware of how you feel, you literally have to pause, you have to be still, you have to get in a meditative state and begin to process, what am I feeling in my physical body? So in essence, it's like closing your eyes, like my eyes are closed, but I'm rolling my eyes up to kind of visually see my forehead, and I'm slowly scanning my eyes down. Now I'm near my nose and my mouth, scanning down. Now I'm on my shoulders, scanning down. Now I'm near my chest, scanning down. Now I'm more near my waist, scanning down. Now I'm at my knees, scanning down. Now I'm at my feet. Now, as I'm going through that slow process with my eyes closed, I'm trying to assess, what am I feeling in my body?
And even where am I feeling? Because that's key for most people. We're either going to feel it in our head, heart, or gut. And that just depends on personality style, right? But determining where you're feeling the emotion is an indicator on how you need to resolve it, right? So if we're a head person and we're always feeling all this anxiety and we're overthinking in our head, then that's where we need to work out the problem. If it's in our heart, we're feeling brokenheartedness, that's a sense of lack of self-worth. We need to work on that. Gut is usually identified with anger. So, understanding where the anxiety is helps you to get on the path to actually correcting it properly.
And then grab that journal, right? And begin writing that thing down. Okay, so my heart is palpitating. I feel stressed. Like I have this nerve that I have this pain in my side. Like whatever you're experiencing. Now remember, we talked about how there's a book called Healing is a Choice. And it talks about, I think that's the name of it. No, How to Heal Your Life, excuse me. How to Heal Your Life.
Both. Go ahead.
Right.
Yeah.
But in that particular book, they talk about how every physical ailment that you have is a result of an emotion that you're harboring. That 95% of all sickness and disease is a result of what you put in your mouth or what you harbor in your heart. So if you're experiencing something in your physical body, this book will give you the corresponding emotion associated with it, so you know how to begin to heal emotionally, which has physical manifestation in your body.
Yeah.
And so by writing down in your journal how you feel today, and then, you know what, I need 10, 15 minutes of meditation. Tomorrow I'm going to do the exact same thing.
Right.
And then the very next day, the same thing. See, what happens is we'll do something one time and say, okay, I did that.
And
What's
that didn't
next?
Work. Right. That didn't work. Did that. And there's a comment here I want to go to. It's I can't read the name. Mr. or Mrs. Butler.
There you
How
go.
do we heal on our own? For instance, if your spouse isn't helping with your healing and isn't working to repair, how do we heal ourselves? And I think that's a great question. And I think we need to understand that no one else is going to be responsible for healing you no matter what, right? So even if your spouse is trying to work and fix it, he or she is still not responsible for you getting your healing. And to Hassani's point, you know, we don't feed ourselves the proper mental, emotional nutrition to get to a place of healing. What we do is we surround ourselves with our bandwagon of people that say, he shouldn't have, she shouldn't have, you girl, you have better rights than that, you don't have to take this, you don't have to take that. We're watching the Hallmark movie to the other person's point, and it's feeding our soul the negative stuff. We have to get into the habit of feeding our soul the right thing, getting up early, doing the meditation like what he's saying, reading the word and reading the truth about who you are, getting some good books like the one that you mentioned, and like Healing is a Choice, which actually teaches you and helps you to understand truths and lies we tell about ourselves regarding healing. We really do think it's the other person's responsibility to heal us because they hurt us, and it just doesn't work that way. So it's about us taking control of our lives and getting what we need in us so that it comes out of us. You have to first put it in, make the deposits inside before it comes out of you internally, and how you show up and how you feel.
Boom. Very true. Let's go to this point. D says, I started drinking to feel numb. My husband changed, but now I had to deal with my issue, and he did not see that the second problems or two problems related because he changed. He thought it was the only problem. Okay, I think I understand what you're saying. But the point I want to zone on in is that you were drinking to feel numb. So this is what we call sedation. You're trying to sedate. You don't want to feel the negative emotions anymore, so you will drink it away. But the reality is it's short-lived. Because once that buzz goes away, all of a sudden those feelings and those emotions are waiting for you just where you left them. And it's a alternative process that you're trying to overcome, but it leaves you with the same stuff that you had when you started, and now you got hangovers, and now you're destroying your liver, and now you're just we've seen how many people have become alcoholics because they become dependent on the alcohol. It curbs their emotions and how they show up, anger issues. There's so many complications that happen when you get caught up in drinking. But rather than sedate, what you need to do is learn how to meditate, because meditation is the proper process to properly manage those emotions. That's why they say you should pray and meditate in the morning to start your day. You ever heard the expression, man, you look like you rolled off you came off the wrong side of the bed this morning? Right, well, yeah, because you didn't start your day off right. And so you woke up with these negative feelings and emotions. Maybe you had some type of nightmare or some type of traumatic experience, or that's when the trigger comes and you don't know how to properly deal with it. And now you bring that negative energy into the rest of your day. But taking the time to pause and pray and meditate and get in alignment with yourself helps you to set the day the correct way and overcome those negative emotions that you're dealing with.
I want to jump to this comment from Gonzalez pertaining to the crossroad. Enter by the narrow gate. For wide is the gate and broad is the way that leads to destruction, and there are many who go in by it. Because narrow is the gate and difficult is the way which leads to life, and there are few who find it. Matthew 7:3, you see the scripture there. That is such a poignant thing to mention, because we think, I don't know where we got this message from, it's supposed to just be easy. Like, we think the gate is wide and there's many options. It's a very narrow option. It's a narrow gate to do the right thing, to get through this life, because it doesn't matter what it is. Infidelity, crisis in your family, a loss of life, loss of everything you own, and you ended up in the streets, whatever it is, okay? It's this life, I'm gonna say the word.
Say it.
Words. This life is a struggle bus. This life is a journey through struggle. And those that overcome are the ones that get the prize. Those that learn how to process through their hurt and not bring all the hurt all the way to the end and to the finish line. We're supposed to learn and become stronger through our hurts and our pains.
Let's go to the second point. We're talking about 10 ways to recover from betrayal. Number 2, make a decision to heal, right? We just said healing is a choice, but you've got to make a decision. And when you make a decision, we're talking about a destiny decision. Oftentimes we make decisions about what we're going to do, and 2 hours later we're back into the same negative pattern or cycle that we found ourselves in before when we made the decision.
Oh me.
Explain.
Oh, me, meaning like me too, like all of us. Like nobody is above this struggle that we have to do the thing that we know to do. I was listening to a message from TD Jakes this morning, and he was just talking about, knowing isn't enough. Knowing doesn't mean that you're actually going to be able to do the thing. Doing the thing is the struggle.
Yep.
We know what to do. We've heard we must forgive. We've all heard forgiveness is for us, not the other person. We've heard that when we hold on to grudges and unforgiveness, what it does to us. But the process to get to the do is where we all struggle.
Absolutely. Guys, we are just getting started. Man, could you imagine 30 minutes went by that fast? It's almost there, but we're at 10 o'clock. We started a couple minutes late, but you can forgive us for that.
Sorry.
But nonetheless, we're talking about healing all week long, guys, and we want to give you the tips, the tools, the techniques, the pathway to healing and restoration. And listen, I want you to come up with every reason why you shouldn't do it. I want you to come up with every reason why you think it's impossible, every reason why you believe it won't work. And I want you to throw that into the sea of forgetfulness. Just throw it away. You've got to release it, because if you hold on, see, now we're talking about deeply embedded belief systems that govern how you think and how you function. And all you do in life is a manifestation or an extension of what you truly believe at the end of the day. So unless you change your belief, none of this is possible. And we want to give you what you need to bring about not just your personal healing, but your restoration of your relationship. Because many of you want to hold on to your relationship, you just don't know how. Or your attitude is, listen, we're going to stay married, we're going to raise these kids, but it's going to be hell, and it's going to be misery, and it'll never get any better. And that's not something that we want for any of you. We want you to have a restored relationship. So keep tuning in to the Couples Academy show. See you in the morning. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.